Hello everyone. So today I wanted to talk to you about this book, Lalla, the poems of Lalla. So this is a paperback edition of by Penguin Publishing, and this is a translated version by Ranjit Hoskote ji. And so what is this book about? This is basically the collected translated poems of one remarkable woman who is said to have lived some 700 years ago in Kashmir, India, and she was. This is a Kashmiri term, DED, which in Hindi would translate to Didi or elder sister, and Lalla is, we in India call someone by their. It's a very loving term used towards someone. So she's called by different names also, Lalleshwari somewhere, some Lal did, but Lalla is the common term. And so what are these poems about? So you will find a mixture of Kashmiri Shaivism, Buddhism, Sufism, and even Buddhism. So it's a mesh of even Vaishnavism. These are some very deep philosophical thoughts which developed in India, and that time period was also very turbulent, 1300 1200 AD, and the India was facing a Turkish invasion, and so this remarkable woman, she left her house and she decided to become a mystic, a Sufi saint, you can say. And so these are her poems. Most of them are, you can say, metaphysical or even inspirational, I would say, because she doesn't want any hindrance towards her meditation or towards her service to towards God, towards Shiva, majorly Shiva, but yeah, it's one ultimate godly principle which I think Sufis follow. And but some of these poems I will show you. They are very funny also. That I can scatter the battalions of southern clouds, dry the ocean, play the physician, but I can't knock sense into a fool. And here also, don't waste your wisdom on a fool. This one, it's so much easier to study than act, to philosophize than to go looking for the self. Losing the scriptures in the thick fog of my practice, I stumbled on second sight. And this one, the greatest scripture is the one that's playing in my head. These leaves, so she's here, I think, this is directed towards some priest or leave these palm leaves and whatever there is written, you are just parrots who recite the name of God in a cage. So yeah, she's very direct, very bold, and it was as the author, the translator has written in the introduction, that it must have taken some tremendous courage to follow the path of a mystic as a lady in that time, and to actually master and understand those philosophies. I just named the philosophies. I obviously don't understand them deeply, but she somehow she has united these various philosophies in her 4-line poems. Yeah, this is what I wanted to show you. These are the domains of Kashmir Shaivism, Tantra, Yoga, Yogachar, Buddhism, and Sufism also. So so much, and later on she also goes on to inspire other luminaries. And the poems are just 4 lines long, and there are total 146 poems here which have been translated by the author. And in the end, the author also mentions notes for almost each poem so that you can easily understand them. I didn't refer to the notes yet, that's why the bookmark is there, because most of the poems you will understand. And this I started noting down which poems were like wow for me, but it was a worthless exercise, because almost every poem I found, it had some statement or some line that was so direct, so piercing, that it shows how remarkable of a woman she must have been. And although there is a school of thought here mentioned in the introduction, that probably some of the poems were later added on by some other authors, which who shared the same sentiment as Lalla. And I don't know if how much of it is true, but anyway, the this all this is a yeah. So basically, he also says that maybe you can say that Lalla is a phenomena, that there were similar minded people who were able to you know merge all these various philosophies and come up with these thoughts and ideas. But these are really deep thoughts. I mean, look at this. Shiv lives in many places. He doesn't know Hindu from Muslim. The self that lives in you and others, that's Shiva. Get the measure of Shiva. So, yeah, pretty secular for some 600 to 700 years ago, and the political climate that was present at that time. This is something I would expect only from a true, Sufi or a yogini or a yogi, someone who has transcended these boundaries of senses, of identities. So yeah, so I would, yeah, there are almost so many poems. It's very hard for me to. Yeah, I belong to Shiva. Can a scatter of ashes ruin a mirror? It gleams. Let them hurl 1,000 curses at me. So she faced a lot of scrutiny also for her choice, but her courage is shown in these poems. They lash me with insults, serenade me with the curses. Their barking means nothing to me. I couldn't care less. I mean, obviously this is translated into English, so it's a lot of it is lost in translation. I hope, um, uh, because in Kashmiri it must be even more direct. I think, but regardless, the author has done a tremendous job, and he's used you can see very simple terms to convey such deep philosophical thoughts. So, a void mingles with a void. When the mind melts away, what's left? A void mingles with the void. So this I think I understand, because it's related to Yogachar thought of Buddhism. That ultimately there is the concept of shunyata, beyond all dualities of this world, and a void mingles with the void. Wow. So yeah. So yeah, if you are interested in this mystic thought sort of poems, or spiritual poems, so I would urge you to read these poems. And this author also has a recent a new book, Ranjit Hoskote. I think he specializes in this, in translation of old works, because I think he has yeah, these poems. And I have not read any of them, but I think because his latest book is on Mir Taki Mir. Yeah, he's also a great poet from India. So I have not read it, but yeah. So I would urge you all to read it. These are the short poems; you can finish it in a day, and I think you will also appreciate this wonderful woman, poet, mystic, rebel of India, some from 700 years ago. So yeah, please read it, share it, and tell me what you think. Thank you. Happy reading.